Nicole, also known as Nikki Vegan, and in today's video I have a hybrid of two of my favorite videos to make, which is a little grocery haul and also a what I eat in a day video. I have two of my favorite recipes I've been making recently. I'm so excited for you to try. The first is a lemon blueberry baked donut that is so good, so lemony, very, very easy to make. It's as easy to make as making muffins, but it's donuts, so that's really fun. And then I also have my Meatloaf Muffins recipe, which you guys might have seen me working on Instagram because I have been recipe testing this for a while and now I make it all the time. It's honestly one of my favorite kind of like comfort food, homey. When I want something that just feels like a home cooked meal, I make this. So I hope you guys enjoy these recipes and seeing what I eat in a day as a typical vegan. I've got loads of healthy stuff in there with some treats mixed in, and I really hope that you guys find this helpful and get some new meal ideas. I also teamed up with Thrive Market to show you a little grocery haul. I'm going to show you some really great items that I picked up that are kind of unique, things that you might not have seen before, maybe you didn't know they exist, and I have a really cool gift idea as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. I started my day with a big glass of water and some coffee, and then I set that down on my desk and started reading the news. This is my morning routine. I do this every day, and it's just a nice, quiet, cozy part of my day. I'll link some of the articles that I read down below. Now, breakfast was actually super easy because I had leftover donuts. These are baked lemon blueberry cake donuts, and they are so good. This batch was sprinkled with lemon sugar, and they were really, really easy to make, so I'll show you how I did it. I started by making a vegan buttermilk. I just combined some soy milk and some lemon juice, and the acid in the lemon juice is what is going to help curdle the soy milk and give it that kind of buttermilk flavor. So you want to do this first and set it aside so that it can do its thing. Then I mixed together the dry ingredients, which are flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. And then in the same exact little mixing glass container thing that I have the milk in, I'm just going to go ahead and add melted coconut oil. I also added vanilla and almond extracts and then some fresh lemon zest. The zest is where a ton of lemony flavor comes from. It's even, I think, more bright and pronounced than fresh lemon juice. So I love including it in both fresh and savory dishes. And it's pretty essential in these donuts because it's what makes them taste really lemony and delicious. So then I just mixed my wet and dry ingredients. You want to be careful not to overmix because you don't want these to be tough. You want them to be really delicate and fluffy and soft. And then this is going to make 12 donuts. So put it into a donut pan along with some blueberries, and this bakes at 350 degrees. The recipe is linked down below, so make sure you check that out if you want to make these at home. And I had one of these for breakfast, some apples. I've been really loving green apples recently because they just have such a tart, bright, crisp flavor. So I had that with some peanut butter, a little cinnamon on top, and then some leftover blueberries. I like having something kind of fruity and also some kind of healthy fats when I have a sweeter breakfast, just to help balance out my blood sugar and make me feel full. Yum. So these are coated in lemon sugar, and lemon sugar is just a lemon zest that you massage into sugar, and it infuses the sugar with a lemon flavor, and it is so good. But the recipe in the blog post will also have a blueberry icing and a lemon icing and the lemon sugar, but the lemon sugar is my favorite because it gives it like this slight kind of crispiness on the outside. Oh, also one thing you should know about this recipe is they're not like fried yeasted donuts, so they're more like a baked cake donut, actually almost more like a muffin. It's such a nice treat for breakfast or even just as like an afternoon snack or something like that. And if you don't have a donut pan, you can still make these. You can just make them in a muffin pan instead. The recipe is on my blog. You have to make these. They're so good. I'm gonna go eat my breakfast and I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so recently my lunches have been pretty boring, just some toast with avocado on it or peanut butter. Not gonna lie, I love that as well. I don't mean boring in a bad way, I just mean kind of repetitive and very, very basic. But then I discovered that I had some ingredients to make a fun salad, and I know salad also sounds boring, but this particular salad is like the kind of salad you would get at a restaurant. It is so flavorful. There's so much going on. It's so hearty and satisfying. And even though, yes, it's very healthy, it feels like a real proper decadent lunch salad, if that makes sense. I've already made it again since filming this video, so definitely 11 out of 10 recommend. So good. Love a sweet and tangy, kind of zesty, peppery dressing, especially with a salad like this. And so I made my own fig balsamic just by mixing some fig jam that I got on Thrive Market along with some balsamic that I also happened to get at Thrive, and then some extra virgin olive oil. A bit of black pepper is key because it really helps to balance out all of the flavors, and then I just shake it together. There's no emulsifying, there's no whisking. Just put it in a container with a lid and shake it up. I drizzled that on top of my salad and lots of it on top of the vegan chicken as well. And even though this looks pretty like this, I actually don't eat it like that. I just kind of assembled it that way so I could take a few Instagram photos and blog photos. But to be honest with you, salad tastes so much better if you put it in a big mixing bowl and kind of mix it all up, because that way every single bite has a lot of flavor. It has the dressing all around it, and it just honestly makes the experience so much better. So even though it's pretty to lay everything out separately, it's just not as delicious. And what is the point of that, you know? So if you're making this at home, definitely put it in a big bowl, mix it all up. And if you don't do this with every salad you make, it's just not going to be as good. So get into the habit, because it's one of the things that really helps me love salads. Another thing is having a hot cold combo, having the hot crispy vegan chicken with the cold crunchy salad. So delicious. Part of the reason that this salad is so good is because it's such a contrast in flavors. So you have the brightness from the lemon and the balsamic and the natural acidity from the green apple and the really juicy berries. And I learned this trick from Pickup Limes, actually. She said that when you put fresh berries in a salad, they're almost like little capsules of salad dressing because they're so juicy, and she's so right about that. So you get that acidity and brightness that kind of balances out the sweetness of the fig, and then you get that pepperiness from not only actual black pepper but also arugula. And it is just so good. It's so simple, I know, but it's crunchy and it's sweet and tangy and savory, and then this vegan chicken kind of absorbs that dressing too, and it is just so tasty. It's even tastier than it looks, so you guys are gonna have to try this because I'm in heaven. I'm so happy right now. First up, I got some jackfruit. This is so that I can make some barbecue pulled jackfruit sandwiches and also my nachos. I'll link that recipe below. I also got some vegan, like a jello, like a natural jello type of dessert, and some dried mango. Dried mango is so good in salad, you guys. Then I got refined coconut oil and a yellow gluten-free cake mix. There are directions on the back for how to make it vegan. Then I got some cacao powder. And some hemp hearts. I love making salad dressings out of this. You don't have to soak it like cashews. Salsa for tofu scramble. Freeze-dried raspberries for everything. It's like sprinkles. I actually got these two in particular so that I could make my tropical sunshine bites. They're such a healthy snack and so flavorful. I'll link that recipe below. Also got some toasted coconut for some baking recipes, and restocked on paprika. I did a video a while ago where I showed you how I grocery shop, and I basically showed you how I break down my grocery list, and then the first thing that I do is I just take that grocery list to my desk and I order my groceries on Thrive Market. It's so much easier, saves me so much time, especially nowadays when I don't want to spend a lot of time in the grocery store. But I also sometimes will put in my mom's address and send her things, and so I came up with this idea for a gift, especially since I think right now it is such a especially an important time to do little acts of kindness whenever you can. And I was thinking that it would be so nice to send someone a bunch of groceries, especially if it was a surprise and unexpected. I just think that that would be, first of all, my love language is acts of service. So if someone is helping me and like sort of taking some burden off of me, like they're doing a chore for me, they're taking care of something that I've been stressed out about, that is how I just feel so loved and like really cared for. And so, by the way, comment below and let me know what your love language is. But I was thinking it would be so nice to be able to send groceries to someone so that maybe they don't have to go to the store that week. Do movie night snacks and do like a popcorn. I love these options here. Or you could do like you could send them stuff for baking, so everything that they would need, like these things that they would need for making a recipe, and then you could, you know, email them or text them a recipe so they have everything they need so they can make it at home. You know, like I just think there's so many ways to really brighten someone's day and to get really creative. So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more of that, and I thought I would just pass that, you know, idea along to you guys in case you guys thought it would be something that you would want to do as well. If you are new to Thrive Market, you should definitely check out the link in the description box below. I shop there every single month. I love them. They are so much more affordable than the regular grocery store. This recipe calls for 1 large carrot, but I have some smaller, skinnier carrots, so I'm going to use 2. I just want to let you know I'm not going to actually peel them because they're going to be finely diced and sauteed and softened. So 1, why do extra work? And 2, why waste, right? Like, even if it is a little bit. But the one thing you do want to keep in mind is you want to cut these very, very, very small. You could even grate them if that's easier. Pop them in a food processor. You just want them to be tiny because you don't want to have chunks. You just want them to add really great flavor and some bulk to the meatloaf. All right, so all of the ingredients and the measurements are listed in the description box below. So I'm just gonna go over some tiny little details that you might not think are important, but actually make a really big difference in this recipe. The first is that you wanna go ahead and saute the carrots and the onions for about 5 to 10 minutes to really let the flavors develop. And then everything else can kind of get dumped in pretty quickly. This is a chop and dump recipe. Everything gets put together in this one big pot. And one thing that I do, because it doesn't have an egg in it like traditional meatloaf, is I scoop out some of the mixture and I blend it until it's like a hummus consistency, and I add it back in. That's going to help bind this meatloaf and really hold all the ingredients together so that you have a nice moist meatloaf muffin instead of having something dry and crumbly. You know how veggie burgers can be like that sometimes? Okay, so these have been baking for 20 minutes. It smells so good in here. I know everybody's like, I wish you could smell this through the screen. Seriously, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good, just like comfort food heaven, really. And so I'm gonna pull these out and I'm gonna brush them with a little glaze. So this glaze just adds a nice little flavor on top, a little bit of caramelization, which is so good on meatloaf, but you can leave it off if you want, or if you want to do gravy instead. That's a really good sauce that you can pour over while you're serving it. But I really like this added kind of caramelization and flavor, but you don't want to do this when you first put the meatloaf in because then it will burn. This recipe is actually inspired by a Trader Joe's turkey meatloaf muffin. It was like a frozen meal, and my friend Laura and I, when we used to live together quite a while ago now, we used to make these all the time. So we would basically get them from Trader Joe's. It was like a turkey meatloaf on the bottom, and then I think it had like spinach or kale or something, and then it was mashed potatoes on top, and you would just pop it into the oven, and we would open some very cheap Trader Joe's wine, like the $2 chuck, and make a salad or some kind of veggie. And that was our little friend date meal. That was like one of our favorites. So much so that even though it's been a while, when Laura saw me making these on my Instagram stories a while ago, she even texted me and was like, oh my gosh, it's like the Trader Joe's meatloaves. She knew. So that's what inspired this recipe. The flavors are really, really similar, but this is a homemade vegan version. A little bit of parsley on top makes everything look really pretty, but the key is to chop the parsley when it's dry, not wet, and also try to make it really small. It looks better that way. So at this point, the meatloafs were ready. I just took them out of the oven and let them hang out on top of the stove. And so dinner was ready, but I wasn't ready for dinner, so I just poured myself a sparkling grapefruit water, and then I tidied up for the day, got in the shower, got into some cozy clothes, and then I was ready for dinner, which I think is the best order. I just heated up some leftover kale and some frozen veggies, threw together a quick salad. 5 minutes later, this was me. So good. There's just something that is so cozy and homey about meatloaf. My grandma used to make it all the time. And I know it doesn't look like much. I don't know, it's not that exciting looking, but I promise you it is so flavorful. And to be fair, regular meatloaf doesn't really look that exciting either. But this one is so flavorful. It's not dry at all. It's really, really like, there's a lot of different flavors going on, but they're all really cohesive, if that makes sense. And I love the texture, especially with mashed potatoes and a little ketchup. You could definitely also do gravy if you wanted, but I like both. I like ketchup. It's so good. And you can make meatloaf sandwiches with it, which is definitely what I'm gonna be doing. I love meatloaf sandwiches with a little bit of vegan mayo and some toasted bread. Yum, I'm so excited about that. I'm gonna watch some TV and relax for a little bit. I am so tired. I'm in bed now and I've just been reading for a while. I'm reading The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, and I definitely recommend it if any of you are, you know, in the same boat that I am and you're just looking for resources and information. This is incredibly eye-opening and just a very, very important read. She does a great job of laying out the history of oppression in this country. I'm really grateful to have it just sort of laid out plainly like that. So I'm learning a lot, and I highly recommend it. I think it's great. But I asked on Instagram what you guys are reading and watching to educate yourselves, and I got so many very, very helpful responses. So thank you if any of you responded there. But if you didn't, or if there are new resources that you've come across, go ahead and leave them in the comments under this video. I want to know what you're reading, what you're watching. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Everything that I mentioned in this video, from the recipes to the book I'm reading to some of my favorite Thrive snacks and the link to try Thrive Market, all of that is going to be in the description box below. I made sure that it is loaded with information to be really, really helpful for you, so make sure you check that out. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do go ahead and subscribe. It's totally free and it's a really easy way just to keep up with my future videos. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.